8121 Talk, Season 4, Episode 6. What up, baby?
What it do?
What it do?
Mm-hmm.
What it do? We got an interesting subject for this week.
Yeah, I think
Short but sweet. Short but very sweet.
I don't know if it's sweet, but okay.
Okay, well, here's the question.
Okay.
I put it to you and I put it to our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
After watching this week of basketball and the prior week,
right,
the question is, does racism exist in sports?
Do you want me to answer now? Or we're going to answer after the introduction.
Nah. We got to get it on like this.
Okay.
It's Al and Elandi. It's got to be more careful.
There's so much in my mind. What if you run out of time? Take it one step at a time. So many mountains to climb. I've been obsessed to grind, so I be one of a kind. So the car never declines. So the car never declines. There's so much in my mind. What if you run out of time? Take it one step at a time. So many mountains to climb. I've been obsessed to grind, so I be one of a kind. So the car never declines. So the car never declines.
It's Al and Elandi. It's got to be more careful.
Well, what you think?
The answer?
Yeah.
I wish America could see my face right now because they would read the answer on my face. Yeah.
You think racism exists in sports?
Most definitely.
Well, here's the question. Do you think it exists from the institution of sports, or is it just fan-based? Like, people have their preferences. If a white person watch the game, they want a white person to win. Black person watch the game, they want a black person to win.
I mean, okay, I got that. But
Right.
I think that the institution overall plays into racism. I don't think they're overtly racist because, of course, there's laws and whatever in place to stop that.
Right.
But sometimes I don't think they do enough to combat racism.
Well, basically, I think that you're basically saying that people root for their own, or whoever they consider their own, a biased.
Yeah, I think that too, but I think that excuse me. I think that, you know what, let me not be beating around the bush.
Okay.
I think that white athletes get away with a whole lot more than black athletes.
You do?
Yes. And I don't want to say that it's of course it's fans.
Of course.
But I think the media promotes that.
Okay. Now, what's sparking this question that we're asking and why we're talking about it is obviously today South Carolina defeated Iowa in the NCAA Women's National Championship. Congratulations to Storm Daly and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Dawn Staley. Oh, man.
Well, you mixed that all up, didn't you?
Dawn Staley.
That's her name.
Now, let's take a trip
Undefeated.
Undefeated. Yep.
Undefeated season.
Let's take a trip down memory lane. You know, I remember Dawn from University of Virginia. I remember her from the WNBA. But most importantly, I remember her for the Olympics, which is a clip of the episode I just showed you on Martin. I think it was Rebecca Lobo. Her and Dawn, you know, they got the gold medal and they went up there and touched up on Martin a little bit.
Right.
Because he said, you know, he could beat girls, but it didn't quite work out like that. So let's say, you know, let's put that at the forefront. So in today's game, it was South Carolina versus Iowa. I thought that in the beginning of the games, just my opinion, I thought the refs were trying to hand it to Iowa.
I agree.
With a lot of questionable calls.
I agree.
Yeah. But the game before with University of Connecticut, very questionable call at the end But they have a white star player, Paige Becker. So that's why I say, is it bias? Or they just pick a darling and they say, okay, this person right here.
Right.
We want them to go. It's a better story, da-da-da-da, this and that. Or is it racism?
I think it's racism.
You think it's racism?
I do.
Because let's go back. LSU lost to, who did they lose to?
Iowa.
They lost to Iowa, right? Now that game, I kind of blamed it on a coach.
Yeah, she didn't make adjustments.
She let Caitlin Clark, which we didn't mention her name yet, but Caitlin Clark, run around the place. I think Angel ended up with 17 points and 20 rebounds or something like that, which is outstanding. We know she was playing on a bum ankle. I think the coach didn't make the adjustments. But sticking to our subject, why does Angel Reese get so much flack for being a dog on that court?
I don't know. I don't understand that because it's looked at differently. The fans, media looks at it differently. They dog her about being aggressive and passionate on the court.
And trash talking.
But when a white player does it, there's nothing said. They actually defend that player.
Right.
And it's not right.
They defend it as just having a competitive spirit.
Right. And so why is it okay for white players to have competitive spirits, but it's not okay for black players to have it? And then why do the fans go in so hard with these players, these athletes? Not just on the collegiate level, but the professional level and everything. Like, why do you do that? But the collegiate level is what gets me, is because these are children. I mean, they grown, but they fresh out of their parents' house, the majority of them and everything. This is their first time being out in the world on their own. And I can understand commenting on their skills, their level of play and everything. But when you start attacking their characters, especially these young ladies, why would you do that? What makes that right?
We have an example. Last season we followed, University of Colorado with Deion Sanders as head coach. What am I doing, man?
Deion Sanders.
Take this thing away from me. Save yourself.
Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders is head coach, but as we saw, as the season progressed, it turned into Shedeur.
Oh,
and
yeah.
what he was doing and waving his watch.
They talked about Shedeur like a dog.
Yeah. And sometimes, I thought some of the criticism was not just coming from, I don't like Colorado. I don't like how the head coach is. He's sure of himself.
No, they didn't say he was sure of himself.
Of course they didn't.
They said he was arrogant.
This, and I'm thinking like,
and he flashy, and he's showboating.
What was he supposed to do?
I don't understand.
Right. So we saw it there. I've seen it for many years in sports. There's only and you know this because we watch stuff together. There's only one white player that I absolutely have no problem with. Like, okay, he's that dog, and that's McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, McCaffrey is on that.
Yeah, he's that dog.
Right.
And I'm not saying I am, I have something against all white players, right? It's not the player, it's the machine that gets behind them.
Exactly.
Right. So
yeah, definitely not the players. So yeah, set that record straight. I don't have a problem against the players.
Because Caitlin Clark is a young lady also.
Yes.
Yeah. And she's a hell of a player.
Okay.
She's a hell of a player, but when that machine gets behind her,
right.
And it's like
can't do no wrong.
Right.
Oh, everything she does on the court is this and that and everything. And then I didn't like the fact today that they gave her so much coverage and Stalky. I don't remember her first name.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because I don't really watch
she's a center
women's
for Iowa,
basketball.
University of Iowa.
But she was killing it today. And I think they mentioned her name. They mentioned her name a few times, but she didn't get the same amount of media coverage as Caitlin did, and she actually had a better game than Caitlin.
At one point, Caitlin put up 18 points in the first quarter, and after that, I think she was
shut down.
She had another 12, but it was sporadic. It was all over the place.
Yeah,
because the Johnson girl.
Yeah,
I think she kind of shut her down.
Raven Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah,
but Stokely. Okay, if you remember, I pointed out at one point she had maybe a 10, 11-point run.
Mm-hmm.
She kept them in that game when it was getting dark.
Right.
So my beef was, okay, we know you have a superstar on your team, Caitlin, but these other girls, they want to go to WNBA also.
Right.
They doing their job also. And it just so happens that Iowa, as I can remember, stop me if I'm wrong, I only seen one black player. I think.
Well, Stokely is black.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I think her name is Marshall. Not Marshall. I can't remember her name, but she's the other girl's black. I remember when they was introducing the players on the
one with the eyes.
Yeah, and they had a nickname for her about her eyes.
Yeah. I'm not sure though.
Right.
But the other girl we were just talking about for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's me being a black person going, I don't know. Right.
Well, I'm just saying the media gets behind them, like you said, and the media will hype it up. And the way the media will talk about it is it's only this person. This person is the GOAT.
Right.
And no one else is at her level or at their level. And they kind of acknowledge what other people do, but they don't give them that same high level of acknowledgement as they do to that white player.
Well, you would think statistically, and I'm just going out on a limb here. If you have, say, a white boxer and he wins the World Heavyweight Championship, his complexion, everything he has more, because we're the majority, more people to market him to. You have more, you understand what I'm saying? They have more people to market him to. He's more identifiable with the majority of people in this country.
Right, we're the minority.
Right. Is that racism?
I don't know if it's racism. Maybe it's not, but it's wrong.
Okay. Question.
It's just like, wait a minute. It's just like with Bo Nix during the season. Oh, Bo Nix is the top runner for the Heisman Trophy. Bo Nix is this. Bo Nix is that.
Right.
Bo Nix didn't win the Heisman Trophy.
No, he did not.
He was not even the number 2 runner-up for the Heisman Trophy.
No, he did not.
But the media hyped him up the whole season. It was always about Bo Nix. To the point where the announcers that was announcing the game, commentating on the game, the commentators, it was all about did you see that move? Did you see that throw? Did you see him get out of this? And blah, blah, blah. Really?
And he got horses on that team, and you can't.
And then he didn't even
name one of them, can you?
Then he didn't even do well in the combine.
No, he didn't. Actually, the boy from Michigan,
McCarthy,
he did better.
But it was all about Bo Nix.
It was about Bo Nix, and I think it was about Bo Nix until one game in the regular season, in which they played Washington, and Michael Penix basically threw them off the field, off the stadium. I think he put up like 400 yards or something crazy. But is there anything wrong with cheering for your kind?
No, there is nothing wrong with it. There is nothing wrong with it. But I believe that if you are a true fan of the game, of the sport, that you will recognize greatness no matter what color or package it comes in. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But there are some people who will not even admit that someone else is great if they don't share the same skin color. You know what I'm saying?
And there are some people that will use whatever resource, whether it's word of mouth, whether it's marketing or whatever, to sometimes elevate someone to that top level when
and they don't deserve it.
It's basketball to me, and since that's the freshest thing, it could be football, baseball, whatever. Basketball to me is not just being skilled; it's also that swag. It's how you carry yourself.
Definitely that swag. But
because if you think about it, one of my favorite players is Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson comes in, and he's a great player. But the swag, the baggy shorts, the braids, the tattoos. Can you name? And I'm not being racist, but can you name a white player that impacted the NBA and the NBA culture like that?
No.
Larry Bird was dope, but wasn't nobody trying to be Larry Bird.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, I'm sure there was somebody trying, but not on a
minority,
not on a major level.
A minority group of people. When I say minority, a few people, maybe. Magic Johnson, right?
Oh my goodness.
Dr. J.
Oh right.
Yeah, we could just keep going.
Right.
Michael Jordan, of course.
Right. Everybody wanted to be like Mike.
I want to throw LeBron's name in there, but there's so much hate for him. I don't understand.
So much hate.
It's so much hate.
So much hate for a man that's never been arrested, haven't stepped out on his wife, been married to the same woman
for a long time.
Does outstanding charitable work, but they hate him. And he's still playing at a high level
after 20 years. And see that one, he's what I would call an outlier, like an outlying subject, because he seems to get hate from both sides equally.
He does.
And I don't understand it.
He does.
So I don't understand. I don't know if you remember back when he started speaking on the Black Matters,
right.
Black Lives Matter, and you had the lady on CNN just told him, just shut up and dribble.
Right.
But it's a little different.
Right. So then I think when you ask the question, is there racism in sports? Yes, there is.
Okay.
But there's also, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you said, the hate comes from both sides and everything. I just think that the media drives a lot of the stuff that goes on as far as attacking people's characters and not just staying with what's on the floor or the field or what have you.
Right. Like, I mean, I want to get into this before we get out of here. A lot of people use the excuse of Angel Reese, and how she carried herself. Some of the statements she made. I know she had a few words with a coach somewhere and things of that. That happens all the time. But I always wondered, like, okay, why are they picking on her? Is it because she's from the inner city of Baltimore? Is it because she's wearing the eyelashes? She's looking like these people that we are attached to. And what I mean by that, she looks like, what LL Cool J say? Round
the way, girl.
She's looking like that. And she's confident.
It's the same thing that they did to Sha'Carri.
Okay. I was a little torn, with Sha'Carri, you got the world in the palm of your hands, and you go smoke you a little doobie.
But she's young. That's the thing that I'm saying.
Well, that's what I was getting to with Angel. She's young.
They're young.
Yeah.
And why is it that the youth, white youth, is allowed to make mistakes and, they learning from it and everything, but when a Black youth makes mistakes, then they question their upbringing and everything. It's like
the first time that I noticed what you're saying. I got to go back. I don't remember his name. He was an Olympic swimmer. I think he won like 7-8 gold medals. I forgot his name. And it really doesn't matter.
Michael Phelps.
He got straight up caught dirty with the weed.
Right.
Ain't nothing happened. They talked a little bit here and there.
Nothing.
But nothing happened. I don't even know if he lost medals. I don't even know.
But
yeah, that's an example of like, okay, is there a double standard out here?
Oh, well, it seems to be a double standard in the NBA right now, unless something has developed that I don't know about.
Are you talking about Mr. Giddey?
Yes.
Josh Giddey? Yeah, I don't understand what's going on.
Is he suspended yet?
Well, let's compare and contrast. A few years ago, there was a number 21 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Came in his rookie season,
Mm-hmm.
did the thing.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in his next year or so?
A former classmate
Said that.
he raped her.
Okay, and then what did the NFL do?
Suspended him immediately.
Immediately,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then what happened?
She came out and said she was lying.
Immediately. No trial.
No questions asked. Boom. He violated the morality clause.
And that's us as Black people. That's what we look at.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sometimes I question myself, are we a little sensitive to certain things because of our history and our past? But there's no way around that our ancestors, can we say that? Ancestors, they were slaves, right? So, and it took a long time to get where we're at now. Not saying that everything is behind us.
Exactly.
Right. So maybe we might be a little hypersensitive when it comes to certain things, but sometimes they just stick out.
It does.
So to answer my question, racism, I definitely think is prejudiceness. Is that the word?
Okay, maybe that is a better word.
Definitely.
Prejudice, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because my example is Stalky for Iowa. They was cheering for her on that side of the fence.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark is the leader, of course. But here's a Black girl that's at University of Iowa and blah, 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 blah. You get it. Now, we can get into some other things about your demeanor, how you act and how you talk. Did you leave the hood behind? Did you go to Iowa and you were like, hey, guys, but we don't know any of that. You feel me? But I would like to think I would like to go, yes, there's prejudice behavior in sports. And I'm not only a client, I'm the president. Because when I see Black people play, I want them to excel. I don't want unnecessary hurdles. I want to see their greatness.
I just want them to be given the same opportunity.
Basically.
The playing field should be equal across the board, no matter what color. Asian, European, Russian, Black, white. It should be the same across the board.
It should be the same. And if you don't like a player, you have your reasons for not liking them, but it can't be because of their skin color. Is that what you're saying?
Right. It can't be because of their skin color. And then I just don't understand why the fans will start attacking that player's character and not keeping with what that player is doing on the court, the field, or whatever the case may be.
They don't care.
Let's talk about, they can't shoot 2-point field goal. I mean, free throws. Let's talk about that. They can't shoot free throws, right?
Right.
Let's talk about, they always dropping passes. Let's talk about that.
Bad decisions.
Right. But let's not talk about, their parents didn't bring them up right and they act this way because they didn't get what they needed at home. And let's not talk about that.
Because, in defense of all that, some of these kids and pro athletes have fought very hard to get where they at.
Exactly.
I'm not saying everybody's perfect.
Right.
Some people might be a little rough around the edges or whatever.
But nobody's perfect.
But you gotta respect that. If you've ever put a basketball in your hand, a football, in your case, a hula hoop, you know what type of work it takes to get to that level where you own. Right. You in that zone.
Right.
Where nobody can compete with you.
Right.
Or you're competing amongst the best.
Right.
And the last thing you need is off-court distractions and character judgment and things of that nature. That's just how I feel about it.
Agree.
But congratulations to Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Congratulations to Iowa Hawkeyes for making it to that round. There's a few other players that I like. USC, Juju Watkins. I actually like Paige Becker for Carolina. Thought she should have been more assertive at the end of her game. There's another girl for Stanford. I can't think of her name, but she's going to be a problem.
Okay.
Tall, 6'5", 6'6", white girl. Yeah. But great week of sports. We are getting ready to get back into that football. You've been watching was it UFL?
Yeah, United Football League.
Yeah, I haven't been looking at it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into it. It's only 8 teams.
Okay.
I'm trying to watch it a little bit to see if there's a team that I want to be like, oh yeah, that's my team. Okay. But
go and jump on that Birmingham.
Yeah.
That Birmingham team.
Oh yeah, Birmingham.
Yeah. Plus, I watch a lot of Deion Sanders stuff they put on the internet, and I saw a video today, and Warren Sapp is there.
Mm-hmm.
I almost got emotional because he was. When I say there, he's there in your face.
Right.
He's teaching them how to come off that line, how to throw this arm up.
Right.
Hall of Famer, Super Bowl, because he can troop too.
Right.
So we gonna get ready for that ride.
Mm-hmm.
And probably on our next podcast, we'll be back to regular talk. Even though this came across like a sports podcast, we're actually talking about life.
Exactly.
Actually.
Exactly.
You got anything else to add to it?
Just leave these babies alone.
Leave these babies alone. And my stance on it, prejudice, because I think people root for their, what's a good word?
Their own?
For their own. Yeah, okay, that's a good word. And sometimes it might feel awfully awkward to us because of our history and where it comes from. Because in essence, we do the same thing.
We do.
We cheer for our own.
We do.
But it's more of them, and it's so suffocating.
Okay.
It's so suffocating.
Okay, so we'll go with prejudice and not racism.
Prejudice and not racism. 8121 Talk, Season 4, Episode 6. We out of here.
We out.
It's Alan Elondius. Got to be more careful.
There's so much in my mind. What if you run out of time? Take it one step at a time. So many mountains to climb. I've been obsessed to grind, so I be one of a kind. So the car never declines. So the car never declines. There's so much in my mind. What if you run out of time? Take it one step at a time. So many mountains to climb. I've been obsessed to grind, so I be one of a kind. So the car never declines. So the car never declines.